The hospital room was silent, too silent. Rick Grimes opened his eyes, a wave of dizziness washing over him. He tried to remember what had happened. A blinding headache pulsed behind his eyes. He fumbled for the call button, his hand grasping at empty air. He pushed himself up, wincing at the pain lancing through his side. He swung his legs over the edge of the bed, his bare feet meeting cold linoleum. The room was in disarray. Medical equipment overturned, charts scattered across the floor. A sense of dread washed over him. Where was everyone? He staggered to the door, pushing it open with a groan. The hallway beyond was deserted, lit by flickering fluorescent lights. Papers and debris littered the floor, and an eerie silence hung in the air. The only sound was the distant, low moan carried on the breeze. Rick stumbled down the hallway, his heart pounding in his chest. As he rounded a corner, he froze. The sight before him sent a chill down his spine. The hospital lobby was a scene of utter devastation. Blood stained the walls and floors, and overturned gurneys lay abandoned, and in the center of it all, a figure shambled towards him. The figure was once human. Now it was a grotesque mockery of life. Its skin was pale and rotting, its eyes clouded over. It moved with an unsettling jerkiness, its arms outstretched, its mouth open in a silent groan. Rick stared in horror as the figure drew closer, its moans growing louder. He stumbled back, his mind reeling. What was happening? What was wrong with that thing? He backed away slowly, his eyes darting around for an escape. The figure continued its relentless advance, drawn by some unknown hunger. Rick turned and fled, adrenaline coursing through his veins. He didn't understand what he was seeing, but he knew one thing: he had to get away. He sprinted down the hallway, his bare feet slapping against the cold floor. He burst out of the hospital doors and into the blinding sunlight. The world outside was no less terrifying. Cars sat abandoned in the streets, their horns blaring. Smoke rose from buildings in the distance, and everywhere he looked there were more of them. The Walking Dead. Our days turned into weeks as Rick struggled to survive in this nightmarish new world. He learned to scavenge for food and water to avoid the undead that roamed the streets. He discovered that the dead were not simply corpses, but something far more sinister. Creatures driven by an insatiable hunger for living flesh. He encountered other survivors, some kind, some cruel. He learned that the collapse of society had brought out the best and worst in humanity. Some clung to their humanity, forming communities and helping one another. Others embraced the chaos, preying on the weak and desperate. Rick found himself drawn to those who still believed in hope. He used his skills as a lawman to protect the innocent and fight back against the darkness, but the world had changed and the line between good and evil had become blurred. Through it all, Rick was haunted by the loss of his wife and son. He clung to the hope that they were still alive, somewhere out there in the vast wasteland.